Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a problem that's been bugging farmers for, well, probably as long as we've been growing food.
Definitely a long time.
It's anthracnose,
Mm.
and it's a fungal disease
Yeah.
that can just totally wipe out crops,
Oh, yeah.
especially peppers,
Tomatoes.
tomatoes, all those things,
Yeah. The
good
guy
stuff.
all the good stuff. Yeah.
Now, you might be thinking, oh, no, another fungus.
Yeah.
But before you tune out,
Yeah.
we're also going to be talking about how technology is stepping in to help.
Absolutely.
Specifically, a company called Pharmanaut.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
They're using some really cool stuff like
Yeah.
satellite imagery and AI to revolutionize
Yeah.
how we detect and manage these diseases.
Early warning systems.
Yeah, exactly. Like an early warning system for your crops so you're not just caught off guard.
Yeah.
So let's start by unpacking anthracnose itself.
Yeah.
What is it?
So anthracnose, it's actually caused by a whole group of fungi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's not just one bad guy.
No, it's a whole gang of them.
Oh, great.
It's called Coletrichum.
Coletrichum. Okay, that's a mouthful.
Yeah, that's why we usually just call it anthracnose for short.
Yeah.
I can see why. But these fungi, they're everywhere, right?
Like everywhere.
Oh, well, pretty much. They
Yes.
love warm, humid environments, which
So like think,
Florida.
Florida, yeah, or like a greenhouse maybe.
Exactly. Yeah. If it's not well ventilated,
Gotcha.
they can attack a whole bunch of different plants.
It's like a botanical pandemic.
Kind of, yeah. They're opportunistic.
Oh, great.
They'll take any chance they can get to spread.
So what makes them so effective at like getting into the plants and causing all this damage?
Well, they've got these spores.
Spores.
Think of them like microscopic seeds,
Okay, so tiny.
super tiny. And they can just hang out on plant surfaces, in the soil, just waiting.
Waiting for the right moment.
Exactly.
Like a horror movie.
And when the weather gets warm and humid, boom,
Oh, no.
they germinate.
So they wake up.
Yeah, they send out these tiny tubes, and those tubes, they pierce the plant's skin.
So they're like drilling their way in.
Basically, yeah.
Ugh, it's unsettling.
Once they're in, they start to spread.
So how can farmers even tell if their plants are under attack? Like, what are the signs?
Early detection is super important.
Okay, so what should they be looking for?
Well, you'll start to see these dark lesions kind of sunken in on the fruits.
Okay, so like little dents or spots?
Yeah, but they're like discolored, almost black sometimes.
Yuck.
You might see them on the leaves and stems, too.
So it's not just the fruit that gets hit?
No, it can affect the whole plant.
Oh, wow.
The leaves might have these circular spots, or sometimes they're more angular.
So not always perfectly round.
Right. And a lot of times there's this yellow halo around the spots.
It's like a bullseye.
Kind of, yeah.
That's not good.
And in really bad cases,
Like worst case scenario.
the plants start to wilt, they might even lose leaves, and the fruit, well, it drops off before it's ripe.
So it's not just a few spots. It can actually kill the plant.
It can, yeah, if it's not caught early enough.
That's a serious problem.
It is. It can really hurt a farmer's livelihood.
Okay, so we know how it spreads. We know what to look for. But what can farmers do to fight back? Are we talking chemical warfare here, or are there more natural approaches?
Well, ideally, we want to start with organic methods.
Okay, so organic is the preferred approach.
Yeah, it's more sustainable, better for the environment.
I can get behind that.
And sometimes those natural methods are just as effective.
So what's in our organic arsenal? Is it just a matter of keeping things clean and hoping for the best?
Well, good cultural practices are the foundation.
Okay, so what does that mean?
Things like crop rotation.
Crop rotation, okay.
That's super important because it breaks the fungus's life cycle.
So like, don't plant the same thing in the same spot every year.
Exactly.
I got it.
And proper spacing.
Spacing, okay.
Give those plants some room to breathe.
Literally.
Yeah, better air circulation helps reduce humidity.
Makes sense.
Makes it harder for the fungus to spread.
So it's like social distancing for plants.
Exactly.
I like that.
And then there's irrigation.
Watering.
Yeah, but you got to be careful.
I've heard overhead watering can be a problem.
Yeah, it can create those perfect human conditions that the fungus loves.
So like a tropical vacation for the fungus.
Right, we don't want that.
So drip irrigation or something like that.
Yeah, something that keeps the leaves dry.
Okay, makes sense.
And of course, sanitation is key.
Keep things clean.
Yeah, get rid of any infected plant debris. Don't let it just sit there.
So it's like, don't leave a buffet out for the fungus.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
You gotta starve it out.
Starve it out. I like it. Now, are there any organic fungicides that can like give farmers an extra edge? Something to help fight back?
There are a few options.
Lay it on me.
Well, copper-based
Oh,
products.
okay.
They've been around forever.
Yeah, my grandma used to use copper in her garden.
They can be pretty effective.
So old school, but still works.
Sometimes, yeah.
What else?
Neem oil.
Neem oil. I've heard of that.
It comes from the neem tree,
Okay.
and it basically messes with the fungus's cell membranes.
So, like, disrupts their little fungal world.
Yeah, it makes it hard for them to grow and reproduce.
Interesting.
And then you've got potassium bicarbonate.
Baking soda.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And some products that use bacteria, like Bacillus subtilis.
So good bacteria to fight the bad fungi.
Exactly.
Wow, there are more options than I realized.
Yeah, it's not just about spraying chemicals anymore.
Good to know.
It's about working with nature.
Okay, so out of all those options, do you have a favorite? Like one that you think is particularly effective or interesting?
It's tough to choose.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, neem oil is pretty cool.
What makes it so special?
Well, it's not just about killing the fungus.
Okay.
It actually, disrupts their whole life cycle.
Oh, so it's like a multi-pronged attack.
Exactly. It messes with their growth, their reproduction.
Makes it harder for them to spread.
Exactly. And it's all natural.
Love that. Now, we've been talking about these beneficial microorganisms.
Yeah.
Can they really help fight off these bad guys? Like, how does that work?
They're like the good guys of the soil.
The A-team of the soil.
Exactly. And you want a strong A-team.
For sure.
So you can introduce beneficial fungi,
What kind?
like trichoderma species.
Another mouthful.
I know, right?
Okay, trichoderma,
And then there are bacteria.
like the bacillus stuff we talked
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
Okay, so all those to the soil,
Yeah, you want a diverse population of these good guys.
like a little ecosystem.
Yeah, they compete with the bad fungi.
So it's like building a strong defense force right in the soil.
Exactly.
What a cool strategy.
It's all about creating an environment where the good guys can thrive.
And keep the bad guys in check.
Exactly.
This is starting to sound like a microscopic battleground
It kind of is, yeah.
down in the soil.
It's a constant battle.
The good versus the evil.
Right. But hopefully, with a little help from us, the good guys can win.
Okay, so we've got our good bacteria, our trichoderma, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But are there any other surprising weapons in our organic arsenal?
Believe it or not,
Hit me.
we can use plants to fight plants.
Plants fighting plants.
Yep. Extracts from garlic, cinnamon, clove, even lemongrass oil.
Wait, those things that I use in the kitchen,
Yep.
those can fight off fungus.
They have antifungal properties.
That's wild.
So you can use them to help control anthracnose.
Plants are so cool.
They are, yeah. There's so much we can learn from them.
Okay, so we've got cultural practices, organic fungicides, and even like botanical warfare.
Yeah, it's a multifaceted approach.
But what happens when things get really bad?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
if the outbreak is just out of control?
Unfortunately, sometimes we have to consider conventional methods.
Okay, so like chemical fungicides.
Yeah, there are some effective ones out there, like azoxystrobin,
Azoxystrobin,
mancozeb,
mancozeb,
propiconazole.
propiconazole. Okay,
But it's really important to use these responsibly.
of course.
Always follow the label instructions and talk to your local agricultural extension office.
Get expert advice.
Exactly. They can tell you what's best for your specific situation.
So it's about using the least harmful methods first.
Right.
And only resorting to the stronger stuff when absolutely necessary.
Exactly. We don't want to create more problems than we solve.
Right. It's all about finding that balance.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance.
So how do farmers decide which approach to take? It seems like a lot to manage.
It is. That's why we have something called integrated pest and disease management.
Integrated pest and disease management.
Or IPM.
Or
DPM.
It's basically a holistic strategy.
Okay, so like a master plan
Yeah, you could say that.
for managing pests and diseases.
Exactly. And it emphasizes prevention.
Okay, so not just reacting when something goes wrong.
Right. You're trying to prevent problems from happening in the first place. That sounds a lot less stressful.
It can be, yeah.
So how does IPM work in practice? Like, what are the key steps?
Well, there are 5 main steps.
5, okay.
First, you got to prevent.
Prevention.
That means creating conditions that are unfavorable to the pest or disease.
So, like, making it hard for them to thrive.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
Monitoring.
Keeping an eye on things?
Yep. You got to be observant,
Okay.
looking for any signs of trouble.
Gotcha.
Then you've got threshold-based action.
Threshold-based action.
So you don't just treat at the first sign of a problem.
Okay.
You wait until it reaches a certain level.
So, like, Don't overreact.
Exactly.
Okay, I can see how that would be important.
It prevents unnecessary treatments.
Makes sense.
And then multiple control methods.
Okay, so not just relying on one thing.
Right, you're combining different approaches.
Cultural practices, organic fungicides, all that.
Exactly.
And the last step.
Evaluation.
Like checking to see if it's working.
Yep, you're constantly assessing your strategy.
Makes sense.
Adjusting it as needed.
So it's not just a set it and forget it kind of thing.
Well, it's a dynamic process.
You're always learning and adapting.
Exactly.
Okay, so IPM is all about being proactive, right?
Yep.
And combining different approaches to manage pests and diseases.
Right.
But what if?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be cool if we could just see those problems before they even, like, really started?
Yeah. Like before you could even see it.
Yeah.
Like if the plant could tell us, hey, I'm about to get sick.
Right. Well, that's kind of where technology comes in.
Okay.
I think that's where Pharmanaut comes in.
Okay, so Pharmanaut are tech heroes of the day.
Yeah. Exactly.
They're using some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, they're using satellites.
Wait, satellites?
Yeah.
Like in space?
Yeah, up in space.
To see if my peppers are going to get anthracnose?
Well, kind of.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So these satellites, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can actually detect these really subtle changes in the plants.
Okay.
Things we can't even see with our own eyes.
So it's like a superpowered vision.
Yeah, exactly.
What kind of changes are we talking about?
Well, they can pick up on things like changes in light reflection.
Light reflection, okay.
And temperature.
Temperature, so the plants might actually get a little bit warmer.
Yeah, if they're stressed or diseased, even before you can see any symptoms.
Wow, that's incredible.
And this early detection,
yeah.
it's a game changer.
Why?
Because it gives farmers time to act.
Oh, I see.
Before the problem gets out of control.
So it's like instead of waiting for the fire alarm to go off,
yeah,
you're like smelling the smoke.
Exactly.
And you can like put it out before it becomes a big inferno.
Exactly.
Okay, so Pharmanaut, satellites, early detection, I'm getting it.
Yeah.
But they don't just like take pictures.
No, they do way more than that.
Okay, good.
They use AI.
Artificial intelligence.
Yep, to analyze all that data.
The satellite data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they can actually give farmers specific recommendations, like what kind of treatments to use.
Oh, that's cool.
When to apply them.
Okay.
How much to use.
Since it's like having a personalized consultant in the cloud.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
It is.
So, less waste.
Mm-hmm.
Fewer chemicals.
Yeah.
Healthier crops.
Absolutely.
Happy farmers.
Happy farmers, happy planet.
I love it. Okay, so we talked a lot about how to fight anthracnose once it shows up. But let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about prevention.
Yeah, that's always the best approach.
Right. So if I'm a farmer or even just someone with a backyard garden,
yeah,
what can I do to like keep anthracnose away in the first place?
Well, one of the best things you can do is choose resistant varieties.
Resistant varieties, okay.
So those are plants that have been bred to be less susceptible to anthracnose.
So it's like they have a built-in defense system.
Exactly.
I like that.
Plant breeders have been working on this for years.
Okay.
And there are some really great options out there now.
So like if I'm planting peppers, I should look for varieties that specifically say they're resistant to anthracnose.
Right. It'll usually say it on the seed packet or the plant tag.
Gotcha. And this isn't like GMO stuff, right?
No, this is traditional breeding.
Okay.
They're basically selecting plants that naturally have good resistance.
So they're just like helping nature along.
Exactly.
Hey, I like that.
But even with resistant varieties,
yeah, there's always more.
you still got to do the other stuff.
The good practices like crop rotation and all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And plant nutrition is super important.
Okay, so feed your plants well.
Yeah, make sure they're getting the nutrients they need.
Makes sense.
To build strong immune systems.
So it's like giving them their vitamins.
Exactly.
I can get behind that.
And of course, watering.
Watering. Always got to talk about watering.
Don't overwater.
Right.
Make sure the soil drains well.
Soggy soil is a no-no.
Not a good thing for any plant, really.
Okay, and we talked about sanitation before.
Yeah, but it's worth repeating.
I agree. Hygiene is important.
Keep your tools clean.
Okay.
Your hands. Wash those pots and trays.
So don't spread the fungus around.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. Now, what about the weather? Can that play a role in anthracnose outbreaks?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, in what way?
Well, you know, anthracnose loves warm, humid conditions.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So if you have a stretch of hot, muggy weather,
okay,
that's when you got to be extra vigilant.
So it's like watch the forecast.
Exactly.
And if it's going to be like tropical rainforest weather.
Yeah, you got to be on high alert.
Okay, gotcha.
And windbreaks can help too.
Windbreaks, okay.
They help reduce the amount of wind-driven rain,
Okay.
which can splash spores around.
Ah, so it's like creating a shield for your plants.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, makes sense.
It's all about creating that protective environment.
I like it. Okay, so we've got resistant varieties, proper care, watching the weather.
Yeah.
But there's one thing we keep coming back to,
What's that?
the soil.
The soil.
It all starts with the soil.
It really does.
And we talked about those beneficial microorganisms.
Yeah.
They seem to be like the key players in this whole soil health thing.
They are, for sure.
So how do we make sure our soil is full of those good guys?
Well, you got to build that soil organic matter.
Organic matter. Okay.
Yeah, that's like the foundation of healthy soil.
Okay.
And you want balanced nutrients.
So not too much of one thing, not too little of another.
Right.
Gotcha.
Manage the pH.
pH, that's the acidity or alkalinity, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And encourage mycorrhizal fungi.
Mycorrhizal fungi, those are the ones that partner up with the plant roots, right?
Yep. They form these amazing symbiotic relationships.
I love that word, symbiotic.
It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
They basically extend the plant's root system,
Oh, wow.
helping it access water and nutrients more effectively.
So it's like giving the plants a bigger reach.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
And cover crops are a great way to improve soil health, too.
Yeah, crop crops. Okay.
And those are plants that you grow.
Yeah.
Not for harvesting,
Okay.
but to improve the soil.
Oh, I see.
They add organic matter,
Okay.
suppress weeds, attract beneficial insects.
Looks like a multi-purpose tool.
It is. Cover crops are amazing.
Okay, so healthy soil, healthy plants.
Absolutely.
I'm starting to see the connections here.
It's all connected.
Now let's talk about some specific strategies for organic farms.
Yeah,
We touched on this a little bit earlier, but I think it deserves a deeper dive.
I agree.
So for organic farmers who are, really committed to working with nature,
Yeah.
what are some of the key approaches to managing anthracnose?
Well, one of the most important things is crop diversity.
Crop diversity, okay.
So instead of just growing a monoculture,
Like a whole field of just peppers.
right, you want to mix it up,
Okay.
grow different kinds of plants.
Why is that so important?
Well, it helps reduce disease pressure.
Disease pressure.
Yeah, because if one plant gets sick, it's less likely to spread to the other plants
Oh, I see.
if they're different species.
So it's like spreading your risk.
Exactly. Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Makes sense.
And companion planting can be really helpful too.
Companion planting. Okay.
That's big.
Like planting friends together.
Yeah, you're planting different species that benefit each other.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, some plants,
Yeah.
they have natural fungicidal properties.
So they can actually help fight off the fungus.
Yeah, and others attract beneficial insects.
The good bugs.
Right, the ones that prey on pests.
Okay.
So it's like you're creating this little ecosystem.
Right in your garden?
Yep, where everyone's working together.
I love that. What about compost tea?
Compost tea.
That seems to be like the magic potion of organic gardening.
It kind of is.
So what is it about compost tea that makes it so special?
Well, it's packed with nutrients
Okay.
and beneficial microbes.
So it's like a superfood for your soil.
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, and how do you apply it?
You can water it in or spray it on the leaves.
So it's like a two-pronged approach.
Yeah, you're feeding the soil and giving the plants a boost.
I like it. Now, what about those good old-fashioned techniques?
Like what?
Like pruning and training?
Yeah, those are still important,
They are.
especially for good air circulation.
Okay.
If your plants are properly pruned
Yeah.
and trained, they'll dry out faster
Okay.
after rain or irrigation,
Makes sense.
which makes it harder for those fungal diseases to take hold.
So it's like giving them a haircut to keep them healthy.
Exactly.
I like that analogy.
And of course, mulching.
Mulching. Yeah.
That's always a good idea.
Okay.
It helps suppress weeds,
Okay.
retains moisture,
Mm-hmm.
and it prevents the soil from splashing up onto the leaves.
Which could spread the fungus.
Exactly.
Okay, that's smart.
It's all about creating that clean, healthy environment.
Okay, so we've got crop diversity, companion planting, compost tea, pruning, mulching. But what about those beneficial insects?
Oh, yeah, those are our little helpers.
Our army of good bugs.
Exactly. And you want to encourage them.
Okay, how do we do that?
Well, you got to provide habitat.
Like what?
Flowering plants are great.
Okay,
They provide food and shelter,
makes sense.
and avoid using broad-spectrum pesticides.
Right, because those can kill the good bugs along with the bad bugs.
Exactly. We want to protect our allies.
Our six-legged allies.
Right. It's all about balance.
Creating that ecosystem.
Yep, where everyone's playing their part.
I love that. Now, these are all great strategies for organic farms.
Mm-hmm.
But what about those larger scale operations?
Yeah, it's a different game.
Right. So what are some of the approaches that might be needed for those bigger farms?
Well, technology can play a bigger role.
Okay.
Things like precision agriculture.
Precision agriculture.
It uses GPS to
That's
guide sprayers.
So it's like really targeted application.
Exactly. You're only spraying where you need to.
That's cool.
Reduces waste, minimizes the impact on the environment.
I like it.
And then you've got climate-controlled greenhouses
Okay.
where you can really control the environment.
So you can make it less hospitable to anthracnose?
Exactly.
Right.
And some farms are even using UVC light treatment.
UVC light. Okay.
That can kill fungal spores.
Wow, that sounds futuristic.
It is. And then there's nanotechnology
Nanotechnology, okay.
that uses tiny particles to deliver treatments more effectively.
So it's like microscopic medicine.
Yeah, kinda.
Okay, I'm following.
And drones.
Drones, of course. Drones are everywhere these days.
But they can be used for aerial detection.
So they can like fly over the fields and spot problems.
Exactly.
Wow.
And they can even be used for treatment.
So they can spray stuff.
Yep. Targeted spraying.
So it's like a flying doctor for your crops.
Exactly.
Technology is amazing.
It is. It's changing the way we farm.
In so many ways.
And Pharmanaut is right at the forefront of that.
Right, we talked about them earlier.
They offer these API and integration options that support all these advanced technologies.
So they're like connecting all the dots.
Exactly. They're helping large-scale farms use data and technology to be more efficient.
More sustainable.
And more profitable.
It's amazing how technology and nature can work together.
It is.
Now, before we wrap up this awesome deep dive,
Yeah.
I think it's important to talk about the economic side of things.
Okay.
Because anthracnose, it's not just a problem for plants.
No, it's a problem for people too.
Right, because it affects our food supply.
And it can hurt farmers financially.
Okay, so tell me more about the economic impact of anthracnose.
Well, it can reduce yields significantly.
So farmers are producing less food.
Right.
And if the fruit is infected,
Yeah.
it might not be marketable.
Exactly. It might have blemishes.
Okay.
Or be deformed.
So it's like it doesn't meet those grocery store standards.
Right. And that means lost income for the farmer.
Right. Because they can't sell it.
Exactly.
And then there's the cost of managing outbreaks.
Yeah, that can add up too.
Especially they have to use chemical treatments.
Right. This can be expensive.
So it's like a double whammy.
Yeah. You're losing money from reduced yields
Mm-hmm.
and you're spending money on treatments.
That's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
And some markets are really strict about quality standards.
So they won't accept produce with any signs of disease.
Right.
Even if it's still perfectly edible.
Yeah. It's about appearances.
Wow. So that can really limit a farmer's options.
It can, yeah. They might not be able to sell their produce at all.
So effective management is not just about saving the plants.
No.
It's about saving the farm and saving the farmer's livelihood.
Exactly. It's about economic sustainability.
Okay, so we've got to find ways to manage anthracnose that are good for the plants, good for the environment, and good for the farmer's bottom line.
Absolutely. It's all connected.
It is. Well, before we move on to some exciting future trends,
Yeah.
let's take a moment to appreciate how far we've come.
Okay.
I mean, we've really explored a lot today.
We have.
From the science of this, this tiny little fungus to the challenges it poses to all the amazing ways that people are fighting back.
Yeah. It's inspiring to see how much innovation there is in agriculture.
Right. And it's clear that, there's no one-size-fits-all solution.
No, definitely not.
It's about finding the right combination of strategies.
For each situation.
Yeah. But one thing's for sure.
What's that?
We can't just ignore this problem.
No.
We got to keep innovating.
Yeah.
Keep learning. Keep working together.
Because the future of agriculture depends on it.
It does.
Absolutely.
It really is. It's like the future of farming is happening right now.
It is, yeah. It's pretty exciting.
It is. But before we wrap up, let's have a little fun.
Okay.
Let's imagine we could design the perfect pepper plant.
The ultimate pepper.
The ultimate anthracnose-resistant pepper.
Okay, I'm in.
What would it look like?
Well, first of all,
Yeah.
I'd give it some serious armor.
Armor. Okay, I like where this is going.
Think super thick leaves
Okay.
with a waxy cuticle.
So the fungus can't even get through.
Exactly. It'd be like bouncing off a brick wall.
That's awesome.
But we wouldn't stop there.
Of course not. We're going all out.
We'd give it an immune system that's on high alert.
Always watching, always ready.
Yep. It would detect those invading fungi
Yeah.
and just neutralize them.
Like a microscopic SWAT team,
Exactly.
taking out the bad guys before they can even cause any trouble.
Gone.
I love it. What else?
To be extra safe,
Yeah.
I'd engineer it to produce its own antifungal compounds.
So it's like self-medicating.
Exactly.
Always prepared.
The ultimate warrior pepper.
But it wouldn't just be tough.
Okay.
It would have to be delicious, too. Right, because what's the point of a super pepper if it doesn't taste good?
Exactly. It would have that perfect balance of sweetness and spice.
Okay, I'm sold.
And it would be super productive.
High yields.
Tons of peppers.
Yes.
And it would be adaptable.
So they could grow anywhere.
Pretty much, yeah. Hot climates, cool climates.
The ultimate pepper.
The ultimate pepper.
Okay, so maybe this is a little far-fetched,
Maybe a little.
but with all the amazing advancements in, like, gene editing and stuff,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe someday.
It could happen.
That's pretty cool to think about.
It is, yeah.
Well, folks, there you have it. Our deep dive into the world of anthracnose.
It's been a journey.
It has. We've talked about the science, the challenges, and, like, the amazing innovations that are happening.
Yeah, from like ancient farming techniques to cutting-edge technology.
It's really incredible to see how people are coming together to tackle this problem.
It is.
You know, it's clear that anthracnose is a serious threat,
Yeah.
but we're not powerless against it. We've got the knowledge, the tools.
Not passion.
Yeah, to protect our crops and, ensure that we can keep growing food for everyone.
For generations to come.
And for those of you who want to learn more about Pharmanon and all the amazing things they're doing,
Yeah, definitely check them out.
you can find them online. Their website is super informative.
They're doing great work.
They are, yeah. They're really, like, leading the way in this whole ag tech revolution.
It's an exciting time to be in agriculture.
It is. And who knows, maybe one day we'll all be enjoying those super peppers thanks to the brilliant minds out there who are, like, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
I hope so.
Me too. So until next time, stay curious, keep learning, and keep those gardens thriving.
And watch out for anthracnose.
Always good advice. Thanks for joining us, everyone.